Hello everybody, welcome back at the Creative Challenge in Illustrator. I was just looking for the chat in order to say hi to all of you that are joining me today. We are starting challenge number 1. So welcome to the Illustrator Creative Challenge. And I can see right away in the chat Wade Acuff, that is our amazing helper, sharing all the useful links in the chat. And if you're watching from Behance, from YouTube, make sure to head on behance.net/live in order to join the chat and say hello so I can reply to your questions and of course say hi to you as well. But as always, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Clary and I will be hosting here 2 weeks of the next Illustrator Creative Challenge. We're going to sharpen our skills and learn new techniques in Adobe Illustrator. But I want to say hi to everybody like Georgia, Mariana, Mote, Robert, Macron, Zed by HP Tech. Rick, thank you. Fantastic, nice to see you. Patricia, Sandra, Carol, beautiful. James, nice to see you. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm currently based in Manchester, UK. If you hear some wrong English, it's probably because I'm going to make up some words with my Italian English. As you know, I'm from Italy, so I like to mix my vocabulary. But before we get started, I want to show you how to join the Creative Challenge. So today is day number 1, and let me jump into my screen to share our amazing landing page. This landing page is super useful because right here you're going to find all the information in order to get started with the challenges. Yesterday already we did a little cover, and also we talked about Discord, but I'm gonna repeat that for those of you that are joining us for the first time. And let me know if this is the first time that you're joining the Creative Challenge. I'm here to read your questions, so if you have any question, feel free to put it in the chat. And I can see in the chat we have Poland, Texas, New York City again, St. Louis. It's going so fast. Canada, Sweden, Washington, LA, Tasmania. That's so exciting. Thank you so much for letting me know. I really get hyped up to see all these amazing international audience from all over the world. Andrea Holler, nice to see you. Steve, thank you so much for being here. Anyway, I can see that Wade has already shared the amazing link, which is the landing page, behance.net/challenge/illustrator. You're going to drop on this very useful page and you can click on the big blue button in order to join the challenge. But also, most importantly, here we go. We're ready to reveal the first card. So as I say, we're going to be together for 2 weeks, so until the 12th of March, and we're going to be revealing day by day, although yesterday I gave a sneaky peek. If you want to go check yesterday's stream, you already have a little preview of the upcoming challenges. Now, what is important here are 2 things. One, you're going to be able to follow along while you're watching the stream or later on, because this video is going to be available for replay, of course, here on Adobe Live on Behance by clicking on this blue button that is called Watch Video. You're going to be able to access the replay. But most importantly, by clicking on Getting Started, you'll be able to access right away the same file that I'll be working on. So you can either work together or you can repeat the challenge in your own time. And the second part of the challenge is, of course, to share your work. You can share your work, of course, on your social media, but most importantly here on Behance. And we're going to see how to do that towards the end of the stream. But another important part is the community chat, which is Discord. For those of you who don't know what is Discord, Discord is our amazing international community full of students and professionals. And here you're going to be able to share your work in order to get tips, in order to get some perhaps opinion from other fellow designers. And most importantly, if you have any questions, you'll be able to have some help directly here on the chat. We have all the mentors alongside all the amazing team from Adobe here monitoring and being there to help you, of course, with any question you may have. But also, this is a place to show off your work. And as I said, Adobe Live is a wonderful, safe space to learn how to use Illustrator. But if you are already a pro, if you know how to use it, this is a great way to create new portfolio pieces. So I really look forward to see your work, and is very open and welcome to beginners, intermediate, or professionals. So let's get started on today's challenge, which is creating brand research. And let me show you what the starter file looks like. This is already a little bit of a step forward. Let me see if there is any question before we dive into the actual challenge. I see everyone is say hello. We have Daniel from Nigeria, enlarging our amazing international viewers. I look on this icon, didn't see any. I guess everyone is just saying hello. Fantastic, great. Syracuse, New York. Beautiful. Okay, so no question, but if you do have any question, just bear in mind that I'm going to be looking at the chat, so feel free to ask your questions. This is a safe space where we can learn, so every question is welcome to learn together. Beautiful. Let's get started then. The reason why I talked about brand research is because everybody, when we mention the word brand, we tend to associate it to a logo, but a brand is much more than a logo. And I really want to stress the importance of why we want to focus one full challenge on the research. We're going to also be creating a logo, and we're going to learn how to use the fantastic tools of Adobe Illustrator to design a logo. But here we are on this first step, understanding why those foundations are so important. And I've shared with you some of the links that you can find here. Simply copy and paste them on your browser from LinkedIn, Google, and Uber, and Netflix. I have them open here. We're not going to spend much time today on those, but they are public. So I think it's very exciting to see all these big corporations, how they take care of their branding. There is so much to learn, and I thought to share with you those links so you could have an idea of how the big guys do it. And why not? You can do exactly the same, because that's the beauty of the apps. Right, so what I've created here is already a table that has the main key elements of a brand. The first one is the mood, so-called also mood board, which is usually a collection of images. And then we're gonna select the color from the mood, and of course some patterns and some types. So today we're going to explore Adobe Fonts and Adobe Stock. But the most important things that I love about these services is they're now included in Illustrator. And by the way, if you do not have an Illustrator and you're wondering how to join the challenge with Illustrator, you can also find that on our amazing landing page. All you got to do is to scroll down, and you'll see that there is a little download Illustrator, which will take you to the page in order to have a free trial of Illustrator, so you can really get started on doing these challenges. Right, so when I talk about mood, is what it defines the mood is the look and feel of a brand. We usually, whenever I work with a branding project, I always ask my client to close his eyes or her eyes and think about 5 keywords about the brand. And then I use those keywords as keywords in my image researches. And when I was talking about the integrated services of Adobe Stock, is because if you have the libraries panel open, and if you don't worry, you can find it under the window menu, and then just simply select libraries. You're going to be able to browse all the Adobe Stock images without even Illustrator, so you can stay focused and concentrate on creating. In order to create a library bespoke for this project, we're going to click on the plus, and we're going to name this library Brand Research. You can name it as you want, but I tend to do one library per project just to keep our file organized. Then, as you can see here, it says research all libraries. We don't want that. We want to research Adobe Stock. And how do we change the scope of our search? Well, all you have to do is to click on the down pointing arrow here and make sure that where it says search in, you select Adobe Stock. By doing so, you're going to be able to put your keyword. And if you joined me yesterday, you already know that the vibe of this week, of these 2 weeks, is going to be spring. We really try to invite warm weather our way. So for example, we can use the word spring. Here we go, and just simply click on return in order to see all your results. And let me make this full page so we can see the images. Then if you drag your libraries panel, you're going to be able to really enjoy these images and perhaps see them also in a little bit of a bigger size. But look here, we have a little filter. And from the filter, you can also tell Adobe Stock if you're looking for vector files, photos. You can already narrow your research. And we're still in Illustrator, we're not, on the website. So in this case, I'm just going to put photos and maybe some vectors to see if there is some illustration as well. Let's start with the photo first, and then we're going to move into the illustrations. Oops, let me zoom out. And all you have to do in order to add your photo, whatever is the one that really speaks about spring, is to click on the plus icon. As you can see, it gets added right away into your library. So I love this blue as well. And I'm going to start to collect images. In the past, I mean, you can still go, for example, on a Behance, there is a fantastic way of creating mood boards, but I find this so helpful. Adobe Stock has such a great library of images, so all I have to do is to really select the photos that speak to me about spring. I'm loving this one. I'm also looking for a little bit more of colors, so I'm gonna do another little research, and then I'm gonna, let's see, this one I think here. A lot of blue in spring. Let me know what is your favorite color for spring, by the way. I always thought that pink was the spring color, or yellow, maybe yellow because of Easter. I don't know. Let me know in the chat what is your favorite color for spring. I'm really, really excited to know which is the color that you associate with spring. But now I'm going to move into researching always spring, but I'm going to change the filter into vectors, and we can start to download some vectors. In this case, we're still going to use them as images, but maybe we have if we have time, I can show you how to also open up the file by licensing it. And I'm going to add just one more so we can start to import it into our file, perhaps this one. And there we go. You can go on and spend as much time as you want for your images. Oh, pink, pastel green, of course, green. Why didn't I think about green? Right, when you keep pasting your favorite color, because I keep looking in the chat, but in the meantime, I'm gonna start to drag the images where it says mood in order to start to create my mood boards for our colors. And here we're gonna start to add our collections of photos. And this is also a very amazing tool when you are presenting your images to your clients. By the way, look what I've done here. I clicked and drag in order to resize the image, but I actually distorted it. So in order to resize your image proportionally, you're gonna have to hold the Shift key on your keyboard while you drag down. And by doing so, you're gonna be able to resize the image, but also to keep the proportions correctly. There we go. So I'm gonna do the same for this one. Hold Shift and then drag, and I'm just gonna try to fill all this mood space with the images. Let's see if probably this one is the only missing. There we go. And now in order to access the colors here in the little, oops, hey Siri, we don't need you, into our color palettes that I've created, all you have to do is to, first of all, ungroup them. It looks like they are a group because when I select on one, both of them become selected. So don't worry, in order to ungroup elements, you can use the shortcut Shift Command G. And then go ahead and just select one element and then press the letter I on your keyboard in order to access the eyedropper tool. And I'm gonna move my Illustrator here so you can see the eyedropper tool is also located here on the toolbar. And it looks like an eyedropper, so it's very, very easy to find. So all you have to do here is to select your image, and then with the eyedropper tool, you can go over your photo and select the images. In certain cases, so for example, with my Mac, despite my Mac, depending on your settings for the eyedropper tool, you might have to hold the Shift key. So if for some reason this happens, so if you go there and select your image and with the eyedropper tool, it becomes transparent, don't worry about it. Just hold the Shift key and try again, and you'll see that the color picker will actually pick the color for you. Sorry, the eyedropper tool will pick the color for you. So I think that from the chat, we talked about pink and blue and green and minty green. So I'm gonna go ahead and select a minty green from our mood board, and look how easy it is to right away get spot on the color of the flowers, the color of the stems. So really, really quickly, we can access colors of spring simply by downloading a photo and then lifting the color palette from the color. So what I do here, when I select the color, I tend to go for colors that are very saturated, so like nice bold colors. Because then we're gonna also talk about the tints. So I'm gonna do the same for the yellow and the same for the green. I'm gonna perhaps choose a little bit of a brighter green here, just like so. And we're gonna change these into a bright pink. Here we go. Is that summer? This summer, spring? Already moved into summer. What do you think? These colors are spring enough? And then another color that I tend to add is a neutral color. The neutral color is usually a black or a white, or it can also be like a sand color, or in this case, like a light purple. For example, the neutral color in this photo will be this light blue. Let's see if we can add this sort of grayish color into it. And the neutral color is usually for backgrounds or whenever you don't want any accent, while at the secondary color I'll call accent, because we can use it, for example, for the buttons. And the beauty of the foundation of a brand is that these are stuff that you're going to use over and over again when you create the logo, when you create a website. These colors are always going to be there for you as the main assets, and they're going to help you to keep the brand coherent. So they're going to be part of your logo, yes, but also going to be part of every so-called touch point of the brand, which is going to be online, digital, if you produce flyer, business card, even uniform. This is really going to be your foundation. So don't underestimate the importance of those amazing foundations, right? Then we can select the tints, and with the eyedropper tool, we can select one of the accent colors. And from the properties panel, I'm going to close my library for now. Actually, I'm just gonna put it here on the side. And from the properties panel, under appearance and opacity, I'm gonna select 50% opacity, because it's also important to have different tints, and then 30% opacity, just like so. And I'm gonna do the same with this red color. Here it is. And then I'm gonna keep it here. Oh, it looks like there is also a black. Let me see what is going on. We want to make sure that we select the same color first, and then we give it the opacity that we want. Make sure to ungroup it, otherwise you probably incur in the same problem that I had here. And if you don't want to ungroup it, or another way to access the selection is to double click on it. And by doing so, you're going to be able to access the isolation mode. Here it is. So we have the tints over here. Let me see if I ungroup it. Here it is. So this is the 30%, and I tend to do 30% and 50% pretty much all the time, just because those are like a nice balance of colors. So again, I'm going to use the main color at 100%, and then the middle one, it gives me an idea of a tint, which is 50%, and then 30%. And we're gonna see tomorrow actually how to apply these colors on the brand. So tomorrow we're gonna already start with some brand guidelines already done. And after that, we're gonna jump real quick into patterns. I'm looking at the time. In order to apply the patterns, I'm gonna select these little droplets and press the Option key in order to copy them. Here it is. And a really fantastic way to access patterns in a click is to head to the swatches panel. So I'm going to head under window, and as I mentioned, every single panel that we're going to talk about in Illustrator and pretty much in other Creative Cloud is under the window menu. So from here I'm going to select swatches, and the swatches panel will come up. First thing that we can do is to select all the beautiful color that we have created, and then click on the little folder here in order to create a new color group. And as you can see, the new color group panel will come up, asking us if we want to create a new color group, and I'm going to call this one Spring, and click on OK. And as you can see over here, we already created a selection of the color that we created, ready to be used over and over again. But what about the patterns? So in order to create the patterns, we can click on the libraries, and then from here we can access patterns and basic graphics. And let's start with using textures. So we already have here textures that are provided within Adobe Illustrator. So every single one of you that access them inside Illustrator is going to be able to have a look at them. And I'm actually going to make them bigger so you can see it a little bit better. You got sort of stitch pattern or dot or sticks, and they're super, super cool. And I'm just going to apply one to the first droplet, and then I'm going to apply another one to the other droplet, and it almost look like it's a nice little dots in here. By the way, look what happened there. I stretched the droplet, but I didn't stretch the pattern. If you want to stretch both, all you have to do is to go to the window menu, select transform, and from the drop flyout menu, you want to select pattern pattern only. So when you stretch, the pattern is gonna get bigger as well. So we're gonna make the shape bigger, but also the pattern. And here we are. We got literally 3 minutes, and I wanna talk about Adobe Fonts. And by the way, both Stock and Fonts are available on a website, so you can browse all the images that we talked about on stock.adobe.com, and you have the filters here as well. And the same for the fonts. We have a wonderful fonts.adobe.com website that is super cool to explore. But what I wanted to show you here is the fact that we can access fonts, and I'm gonna type T in order to get the type tool and just quickly type the word spring. Press Command A to select it and head to the properties panel to really make it bigger so we can see it, just like so. And I'm just gonna go ahead and create a few copies. And from here, I'm gonna go from the character panel and select Find More. By doing so, as you can see, it says initializing. I really hope that my internet is gonna be able to bring the fonts up. But the beauty, if not, you're more than welcome to try on yours. Sometimes you just need to perhaps restart our work a very long time, but here it is. From here, the beauty is that you can literally browse any font that you want, and once you hover on it, you can actually see the preview appearing on your fonts. And if you just see a little cloud, you can actually access the font and automatically activate it within Illustrator. So the font is going to become active and ready for you to use. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to go to the website if you don't want to. Now, a very quick tip before we go. I want to show you, as you can see, I created what is called a text area. So the text, they're almost overlapping. It can become messy because, like, you know, I want to select this one, this other one is active. If you want to shrink the text area into a point area or area type, all you got to do is to double click on these little handle on the side, and as you can see, it shrinked into the size of the type. And we can also use that to resize our text by holding shift. And don't forget that if you resize an area type, you're just going to resize the type, which is fantastic if you want to add more text, but it's not very useful if you just want to quickly just resize the text, just like so. Right, fantastic. So here we can actually use whatever font we want. I have one of my favorite one, which is called Integral, and then Dean. And once we're ready, here we go, because we got 1 minute to go, we can actually save and export our mood board in order to share it on Discord and on Behance. To share your image, all you have to do is use the shortcut option, Command E, that's Alt Command E, Alt Control E on a Windows, select the artboard, select your destination folder. I'm gonna try to do it super quick on my screen and select choose and DCC challenge number 1, name your file and export it on the destination folder. And now all you have to do is when you head on your Discord is to click, here it is, that's Discord, bit.ly/AI Discord. Click on the little plus icon over here, and then you're going to be able to select your mood board. Let's see if I'm able to find it. I think I called it DCC number 1. I'm just going to use this one as a trial and to show you, and I'm going to call it challenge 01. Here it is. And in just one click, it's gonna be shared, ready to be reviewed. I'm gonna share also the last one that I've done right now. As you can see, those are the main of the mood board that I've selected. And those are all amazing, beautiful work. If you wanna know how to share the image on Behance, you can watch yesterday's stream or join tomorrow, because we're gonna focus a little bit more on Behance. But if you do share your work, don't forget to use the hashtag AI Creative Challenge, both on your Behance project, but also on your social media, because we're going to keep our eyes peeled for you. And if you post it on Behance, you get a chance to be handpicked and featured into the challenges galleries. I cannot believe the time is already up. I look forward to see you tomorrow. If you have any question, you can get me on Instagram at @IamClaudy, or of course on Discord. But challenge number 1 is done. I look forward to see your brand research about spring or about it, whatever you want. Just let me know, of course, when you publish it, and I look forward to see it. And of course, we're going to see each other tomorrow for challenge number 2 in Adobe Illustrator. Bye everybody, and thank you so much for joining me. See you tomorrow.